Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our final presentation for the day and for the AEW 2025. A big thank you to One Titanium for being the sponsor for this technical stage Hub 1. And thank you to you for coming through. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome on stage Mr. Buba, Bajo, as well as Kendi, who's going to join him a little bit later on. So Mr. Buba is the Director of Resources Management at PC Gambia. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, and welcome to you all to the Gambia showcase session. So just like the MC said, our showcase today is in two presentations. The first one will be done by me, and the second one by my colleague from our national oil company. So my presentation today will focus mainly on the wells that have been drilled in our offshore, the Gambia, on the block A2, and the prospectivity being done on that block, and by extension, the adjacent block. So to begin with, Gambia is part of a basin that comprises of Mauritania, Senegal, the Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry. Together, these form the MSGBC basin. And MSGBC basin is formed as a result of a breakup between North America, South America, and Africa due to rift-perceived merging. And the basin underwent through pre-rift, syn-rift, and post-rift stages of the basin development. So MSGBC basin, since we came, was it on Tuesday to date, and also in all our panels, in all the MSGBC panels, we've been emphasizing that the basin has huge potential for hydrocarbon, and these are proven by several discoveries that happened. And the recent among them is the Sangomar oil field, which has the largest global discovery in 2014. And the reason why I mentioned that Sangomar oil field is that it is the closest to our exploration blocks, which is about 500 meters to our exploration borders. And today we will focus mainly on the three wells that have been drilled adjacent to the Sangomar oil field. So as you know, searching for oil, one of the key elements that is of importance is the source rock maturity. And as our past partners, which is mainly BP, did petroleum system modeling, and based on their studies, it has revealed that our Albion source rock is proven and found to be matured. However, the Aptian and Barremian source rock is yet to be proven, but really will be matured if present. So Gambia, we have 9 exploration blocks in total. 8 offshore and 1 onshore is considered as 1 block. And currently we have 1 licensee on our block A4, and we currently have 4 ongoing negotiations at the moment, which include our onshore block, which is currently in discussion to grant it to our NOC. So currently we only have 3 blocks that are only open for a discussion. And our expectation as far as our minimum work obligation is concerned, as you know, data is key. So in these 3 blocks, data coverage is very minimal. And the expectation is any international oil companies that we are granting these blocks to, at least what we are looking for is acquisition of some seismic data and also conduct some G&G studies on them. In terms of data, we have quite an extensive data coverage, over 8,000 kilometers of 2D and above 10,000 square kilometers of 3D. This also includes 5 wells that have been drilled in our exploration blocks, 3 offshore and 2 onshore. In addition to these data, we also have other geophysical data that include gravity and magnetic data, bathymetric data, multi-beam and CSIP data. All these data are currently available with our reputable and very good partners, which is TGS. So currently what we have as a proprietary data is the well data, which is currently held with us. So to start with, some of the wells, and following these well studies that have been conducted by our previous partners on this particular block. So the first well that we are looking at is the Jama 1 well. They call it Jama 1. It's drilled by Chevron in 1979. And one of the key objectives of this well, they were looking at the Upper Cretaceous carbonate and associated siliciclastic sediments within the long north-south trending anticline on the carbonate margin. And the results revealed that they have encountered quite some oil source, and the probable cause of the failure was due to faulting. However, they have encountered an excellent reservoir quality in the well. And what that revealed on the prospectivity of the block is that hydrocarbon extraction has been confirmed to be migrated from the source to the reservoir. Another well that have been drilled on this particular block was done also by both FAR, an Australian company, and Chevron, which is a Malaysian company. Together, again, they have drilled a well in 2018 called Samo 1 well. And the objective of this Samo 1 well was they were looking at the four-way deep closure, primarily within the Albion, such as the S400 and S410 series, which is found to be an oil bearing in the Sangoma oil field. And the results have revealed that all the targets have encountered some oil source, despite the fact that, it is considered to be an oil water bearing. And they have also encountered good quality reservoir. And also the secondary targets, which is the S552, were also found to be developed and contain some hydrocarbon inclusions. Now we're looking at the implications on the prospectivity of the block. It was drilled and its adjacent blocks revealed that the migrated oil extractions from the deeper late Aptian, which is the secondary targets, were probable source from the Eastern Kitchen. And this we can show from our next slide on how we believe some of these prospects are sourced from the Eastern Kitchen. The seal integrity was also being confirmed, and also the primary reservoir were also confirmed, as well as the secondary reservoirs. This is the third well that have also been drilled in the same block, again by both FAR and then Petronas. And the objective of this well again was they were looking at the mid to late Albion, primarily trying to see the southern extent of the Sangoma oil field. And also one of their secondary targets was within the multiple stacks, within the late and then the late Albion and then the late Aptian. Again, what the results has revealed is that the primary targets were confirmed, despite that they have encountered limited columns in Poor Reservoir. And then all the secondary targets have also indicated some minor oil source. And looking at the results and the implications on the prospectivity of this block A2 and A5 revealed that we have an hydrocarbon column that have been interpreted within the structural spill. What that revealed is that our block, the Sangoma, doesn't extend to the Gambia, which means that it has not straddled into block A2. And the reservoir have also been confirmed, just like in the Samo 1 well. And the seal integrity have also been confirmed to be a good seal. So following all these wells and their results and then the implications on the prospectivity, FAR and Petronas together have conducted post-well studies. And one of their post-well studies include some of the key GNG studies that they have conducted that led to their volumetric analysis. And as you can see, this is one of their output or outcomes of their studies that demonstrate that the success of the Albion self-edge play where oil are trapped in the Sangomar oil field in a three-way deep closure. So here we can see some of these prospects. And like I said earlier on, while some of these prospects might be sourced from the Eastern Kitchen, you can see clearly from the ones in the middle, which are the prospects, are mainly from the Malo and then the Jobo prospects, because there is a phenomenon that oil do not migrate from up and down, but rather from down to up. And these are the 5 high-graded prospects that they have identified. And we can also look at one of the prospects, which is the Pantera prospects. So Pantera prospect is an anticline within the anticline prospects. And looking at the structures for both the S390 and S400, which are one of the key primary targets, is that we have a very good structures, despite the fact that there are some potential spill points within them. And these also indicate from our Bamboo 1 well is that based on our biomarker reading, we have some good potential oil source in our last well being drilled in 2021. So in terms of comparing between our well and that of the wells that have been drilled in the Sangoma, is that what we did was they have compared the density, the neuron porosity log, and then the V-cell leg, and compare it with the other wells. What they reveal is the JAMA 1, Bamboo 1, and then the SNE field reveals that the seal integrity is very good, meaning it can withhold over 350 meters of oil column. And also confirm that we have a very good source rock with an associated anosic event, which means that we have a very good TOC of 3.3%. Again, we did a similar one for one of our primary targets. Again, on their density log, neuron porosity log, and then their V-cell log, comparing it with the Bamboo 1 and then the SNE field, have also again revealed the presence of reservoir. They have also revealed that the source rock is unaltered, and we have also have a very good seal capacity of over 500 meters that can withhold an oil column. Following these comparisons, we also did an MICP seal capacity. Again, we compare all these logs with our recent well. And again, it has revealed that we have a very good seal excellent capacity of over 300 meters. And which concludes that the failure of Bamboo 1 well is in any way related to a seal capacity. Now it comes to the end of my conclusions. That is, why do you need to come and invest in the Gambia? We have highlighted some of the insightful and good geology that we have, that it has confirmed the presence of a reservoir. We have also confirmed the seal integrities in the wells that have been drilled, and above all, that there is working petroleum system in the Gambia. So this is something that is very attractive. Now it boils down to what can we do as a country, which is the above ground situation. We have a very good above ground situation. In it we have a PEPLA that is of international standards. International standards mean it's been reviewed by a consortium of experts, name it, from lawyers, from geoscientists, from engineers, from financiers who have sat and come up with a very good model PEPLA, following which was tested with industry also, industry players, be it super majors and small players, with their observations and comments on that document, which have also been factored in the finalizations of this document. And today we can raise our hand to say we have a PEPLA that is of international standards. And number 4, one thing that is of attractive above ground condition is that we have a very attractive physical term. We have a royalty-based index. What that means is the royalty is based on the price index. If the prices go high, then we have a high royalty. If the prices go low, we have a very low royalty. And we have a VAT exemption during exploration and a state participation, which is carried during exploration period and can be extended to 15% during development and production. And the fifth one that is of interest to international oil companies is that since last year to date, we've been holding data room with reputable international oil companies. And that has revealed significant results. Today, we have 4 proposals that we have received, and all those proposals are currently under production, thanks to the data room that we have hosted with these international oil companies. And we urge every international oil companies who is also interested to look into the data in the Gambia. These are the email addresses. You are highly welcome to contact any of these email to have a data room with us. On that note, I thank you all for your kind attention. So this is the second presentation by my colleague, Ms. Kanita.
Thank you very much, Buba, for that wonderful presentation, and thank you all for taking the time to be with us here today to learn more about what we have in the Gambia. I am pleased to present from the Gambia National Petroleum Corporation perspective and give a brief introduction of what we do and our activities in order blocks. As we have seen, Buba mentioned blocks A2 and A5, which have been tested with well drillings that were not contiguous with the Sangoma oil field. However, we believe in the block A4, where we have a partner, Petroleum, and in other blocks, there are promising prospects of reservoir continuity with substantial potential for oil and gas reserves. So GNPC was set up in 2003 on behalf of the government of the Gambia to participate in the upstream, midstream, and the downstream sectors. And we seek investment partners for our downstream businesses. We run a network of retail stations and import refined fuel products into the country. We have investments into our storage depot, and we are involved in the African Gas Atlantic Pipeline project. And we also are a state participating partner as a minority equity partner in licenses. What we have done is we streamline energy efficiency and decarbonization initiatives into all our operations. So all our head offices and retail stations are solarized. So for the block A4, you would note that we have a shelf edge play continuity that has been mapped from seismic that has been processed and reprocessed. And we have good basin play potential. And for the block A4 activity update, we've done a reprocessing of the seismic basin modeling, gross domestic estimate and play fairway mapping. We've done volumetric and development concepts that are based on tapping into the development next door. And we have several attractive prospects that are defined in proven plays that we believe have the same play fairway systems with the Sangoma field. And most importantly, it is modeled, the development concept is modeled in such a way that it would turn a profit at a low oil price of just $35 a barrel. So as I said earlier, we do believe that based on the seismic that have been mapped, there is a shelf edge play continuity. And we see the same eastward dip of the platform in the Sangoma extending southward into the Gambia, with mapped shelf margin deltas and prospects like the Lamia South that are situated in favorable lower slope and pro-delta positions that receive high quality deep water deposits. And in the basin play potential, we also believe that it contains a basinal slope, base of slope rather, and a clastic fairway that is similar also to the Fan 1 discovery that was not developed like the SNE field into the Sangoma. And so for the development strategy, we've learned lessons from the Sangomar project, which means we will rationalize the appraisal programs and streamline the development project to avoid excess appraisal wells and focus on best producing units. And that we would refurbish an existing FPSO, bring on wells in tranches, ensuring earlier production and revenue. And we expect that we should be able to see first oil 5 years from discovery. So in summary, there are prospects in 2 proven plays in the Block A4 that extend the Sangomar success story southwards into the Gambia. And there is commercially proven shelf edge play that extends into Block A4. Lamia South sits in a very optimal location in front of stacked Albion deltas for deposition of high quality pro-delta and lower slope turbidites. Exploration wells will test multiple targets that would greatly increase overall chance of success. There is a small minimum economic field size and low break-even oil price due to the excellent fiscal terms that are in our model PEPLA, which Buba introduced, and there is an opportunity for clustered development. Now for the onshore, we have very sparse data because exploration onshore has stalled since the 70s when wells were drilled and gas shows were found. And although underexplored, the geological surveys that are mainly legacy data do indicate the potential for oil and gas resources within the Senegal Basin, which includes the Gambia, and which has been estimated to contain at least 13 million barrels of oil and 50 billion cubic feet of gas per field within the Senegal Basin, which includes the Gambia geographically and geologically. So GNPC has renegotiated excellent terms with the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy to make this attractive prospect despite the low availability of data. And we have, among some of those changes that we've done, is that we demarcated the block into 1, cognizant of the small size of the country. It's only 11,000 square kilometers, so that's the entire onshore block. And geological and geophysical studies identified leads with structural and stratigraphic plays in the Paleozoic and Mesozoic formations. The drillings was conducted in 1960 through to Paleozoic, and it demonstrated considerable gas shows. And so we've also managed, on the above ground, we've managed to negotiate a longer exploration period, different from the standard 7-year exploration period. We'll have a 10-year initial exploration period in total. We've also negotiated for no signature bonus to enter the onshore block, much lower training fees, and a lower surface rental as well for the block, much lower than the offshore block. So we've done all we can to make it really attractive, to ensure that there is upfront low entry cost in order to encourage the acquisition of data, and to ensure that we will, okay, sorry, that brings me to the end of my presentation. And looks like, yes, the time is up. And thank you very much. I welcome any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much. Absolutely incredible. Do we have any questions for them? Any questions? Going on.
Good afternoon. As you mentioned, Sangomar was a huge success, Woodside and Petrosen, not only in fiscal terms, but I believe in local content development. So are you able to kind of give more information on what you learned from that and your plans moving forward?
So if I may understand your question, you want to know what are our local content terms, or?
The learning from Sangomar, what are you going to learn from that?
From Sangomar. So we don't have a standalone local content regulation. It is being developed right now, which will incorporate learnings from the Sangomar project. So it's being extensively researched and worked on by the Petroleum Commissioner, the Petroleum Commission, rather, as we speak. But what we have put in place is, what we realize is that local content must match the stage of exploration, development, and production you're in. So we're right now in the exploration stage. We don't want to be over-ambitious and saddle strenuous local content terms on international investors. So we we enroll local content, we streamline it into the contract, where in the earliest stages, because we don't have that much of a developed industry in the Gambia, you're required to source from 3 to 10%, depending on the availability, and also depending on the fact that it meets the standards and specifications. But more importantly also, we've adopted a sub-regional outlook, I would say, to local content. So in our previous drillings, we've been more than happy to source products from neighboring country next door in Senegal, where the capability was not in the Gambia. And we hope that this sort of collaborative approach to local content would extend across, the sub-region. Thank you.
Hello, wonderful presentation. My question, how is the data that you're currently deriving from these projects being stored, and how do you plan, are there any plans to use them in the future for data modeling to find new places to drill, or just any kind of precision insights from the data?
Thank you very much for your question. So our data, the custodians of our data custodians are the Petroleum Commission, and Buba alluded to our geophysical partner, so I'll just allow him to get into detail.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your question. So currently we are working on having a data management system. So in the data management system, what we want is to have a platform where we will put all these data stored and also have a physical data. So we are currently working with our geophysical service partner in trying to ensure having a data management system platform that can be hosted on cloud, where anytime we need to access these data, be it seismic, well data, whatever reports that we have can be accessible easily. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Signed, sealed, and delivered. We have come to the concession of the Africa Energy Week Technical Hub 1 presentations. It's been absolutely incredible. The objective was to position Africa as the global energy champion. If we take into heart, into mind, the conversations that we have had throughout the entire week and the connections that we have built, Africa will be the leading global energy champion. My name is Vukosi Mashele. See you next year. Goodbye.